welcome everyone to the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio and chaoticradio.com. Because today we are speaking with frontman Casey Lee Michaels of All American rock band Kid Comet. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's great to have you back. Now, Kid Comet's been around for a while. He's got a lot of music out. They've played a lot of the big venues before, a lot of the main popular venues like the Roxy, the Whiskey Theater, the Canyon, the Troubadour. So they were, born and raised in Hollywood, right? Sunset Hollywood is where your band started.
Sure, yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and they've been featured in a lot of the metal magazines, band magazines, things like that, and we do have some of the music. We are already playing some of the music on Rockers Edge Radio. So catch up, talk to the artists behind the music that we've been listening to, and then we have some more music for you as well.
Beautiful.
Now you got some new music coming out now. Tell us about your band first off. Tell us a little bit about Kid Comet, how you guys started off.
Sure, no problem. Some kids here in Indiana, up in Carmel, started attending MIT, and then I got a phone call one day from a lady who I ended up marrying later on, and they wanted me to come out there. And it was just kind of like, well, I could be a construction worker in Indianapolis, or I can go out to the West Coast. So I needed a job. I needed a place to stay. They called me about 3 days later, and I get on a train, and I head to Los Angeles. And this would be about a little bit past the mid-80s at this point.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, and then on top of that, so you guys have been running the circuit and playing, you guys open for actually a lot of big names out there like Metallica, Quiet Riot.
Well, Metallica was actually, and we were like mid-teens at this point, but Metallica, Wasp, and Armored Saint played a place called the Sherwood Country Club. And I was, I knew a guy that put on the show, and he put us on the bill. So that was actually our first time opening up for major acts. And that was here at Sherwood Country Club in Indianapolis. And then going out that way, we opened up for a lot of people as well. And also played our own shows after a while. So it was an adventure. And it was like we were there right at the time when all of that was really hitting,
Like when everything was just really the whole scene was exploding in Hollywood on the Sunset Strip and stuff, right?
Hugely, very much so. So, right time, right place.
Right, exactly. And now you had put out an album also, an EP out there actually, called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which you also have a song named after as well. And you've got, you got some music off of that. Tell us a little bit about that, because at one point you were also signed with the label and everything like that. But then, things happened and they had to pull from that.
Well, here's what happened. So, I arrive in LA and the fellow's like, well, we got to take you out to the Strip. So you go out to the Strip and you study what's going on. And it's like, fellas, we need a photo and we need to record. So we literally just made flyers while we're rehearsing, just getting together out there. And from those flyers and distributing those things, we got offers from many magazines and a couple of labels as well. We secured a management deal with a guy named Joe Godfrey, who's passed now, but that was Carmen Productions. And that is a recording studio called Sound City. And if you guys want to look it up, Sound City is like a major thing on YouTube. It's about how the board goes from, and all the artists that recorded at Sound City, which was amazing, being a kid from the Midwest, right? I couldn't, so we got hooked up with Joe and we started recording for RCA Records.
Then what happened after that, though?
Okay, sure, not a problem. So in 92, everything changed out there. The music completely changed. I got a phone call from Joe. Do you want the good news? Do you want the bad news? I go, give me the bad news. The bad news was they're not going to release the record. The music was changing. They were going in a different direction. But we're not the first people to suffer from that. I'm sure you can talk to lots of other people when it was around 90, 91, 92, 93. And so then I kind of came back home and put a band together here, and we played the sheds around here a little bit, and we played clubs in the Midwest. And then for the past, except for COVID, because COVID completely changes the whole story, right?
Oh yeah, that changed the world story, yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. And so COVID's a year and a half ago, but for 6 years from a year and a half ago back, I was out on the East Coast putting something together with a guy named Michael Lee Allen, who's a great drummer, good guy. And the idea was we're just getting ready to play out there. And then COVID shut everything down. Literally, to go to rehearsal in Wharton, New Jersey, I would have to like lock down for 2 weeks out there, and that's just not in the pocketbooks. So the past year and a half, we've been recording new songs, and we're getting a new release, which will just simply be called Kid Comet. It'll be a digipack download.
Nice. And now how many tracks are going to be on that?
Okay. Fresh, brand new tracks, there's going to be a dozen. Then going back to our Kid Comet history, there's going to be 3 from Pop Rock Glam Slam, 3 from Radio Free America, and then you mentioned that 5-song EP we did on the West Coast. That's also going to be on there. Nice. So all fresh stuff, and then the history of the band. Ding, ding, ding.
That'll be really cool because then fans get a little bit of a compilation, before and after, type of thing, So and then you get a little bit of a comparison too of some of the music change, and also of course the incidents in the world and the events that have happened that also change in your music and lyrics, and where it progresses with the way the world is moving as well. So actually, I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, well, it's the best idea because it's just going to give you a taste of everything, So, from the 80s, the 90s, the new millennium, and now.
Nice. Very nice. I like that idea. Now, we've been talking about the music, and again, we are playing some of them, already on Rockers Edge Radio, not all of them yet, but we do have some music right now that we are going to play for our listeners out there. So let me just give me a moment. Got to get my little reading glasses on. So so we have She's My Serpentine, Mystical, A Lady Named America, which I love. I just love that song. Absolutely love that. And also Blue Angel Nights. So we have a number of songs that we're going to be playing for our listeners. So tell me, which one would you like me to start with so that we can kind of talk a little bit about that song and what it was about when you wrote it before we play it?
Well, sure. You can start with She's My Serpentine,
okay,
which is the first track on the new release. And it's just a song about a guy and a girl and good times,
nice. Okay, well, that song is She's My Serpentine, and we're going to play it here on Rockers Edge Radio for everyone as we are speaking to frontman Casey Lee Michaels of Art American rock band Kid Comet. And you heard it here on Rockers Edge Radio on the Dylan News Rock Show.
We're excited.
she bites. We gave it all for rock and roll. We gave our hearts, we gave our souls, we gave it all for rock and roll.
Yeah. And once again, that was She's My Serpentine by Kid Comet. And you heard it here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. I love that. I love the song. I love the sound. I love your music. I've been listening to a lot of it. We have been trying to conduct this interview for a little while, so it's nice that we're finally able to get to do it.
You know what? The third time's the charm.
Right? It always works out sooner or later.
Sure.
Just got to keep trying. Now, the new you're talking about the new music that you're having coming out. Is there an idea of like when you guys are going to be releasing that? Is that going to be coming out anytime soon, or you still kind of have that in the air?
Very much so. Next Tuesday, we're mastering everything up, which is bringing all the levels for each song across. The packaging should be completed by next week, and then it's like a month turnaround. So I would think like by Halloween.
Very nice.
Probably,
so you're really close.
Probably be a good release date. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And again, now we do have more music to play as well, you know, but is there also like maybe like a fun little story that maybe you have that maybe you want to tell like on your days of just touring and, you know, and going out and playing all these big clubs and, you know, opening for all these big bands? You know, maybe a little funny story you'd like to tell us?
Well, there's lots of great stories, but here's a really good story. So we're playing San Diego, and it's like an American Legion VFW hall, and where they would have like, you know, whatever, and we set up the band in that area, and most of our crowd is a little bit underage, but they had a bar area, and somehow the underage kids were still going in the bar. Somebody's getting into the bar, and it was really rocking. And then the opening act. Can I cuss on this show? Okay, great. So I'm back there and we're doing our thing, getting ready, and the opening act decides to call us out and calls a bunch of fags from Hollywood. Well, you know, everybody in my band, I can assure you, we like girls a lot. And so I went out to the soundboard and I shut off the power and I went straight for the lead singer who just tried to call us out for that. And the guitar player swung his guitar, missed me, hit the lead singer. And I grabbed the microphone stand. About that time, one of the big guys in our crew picked me up. And then the next thing I know, it's a riot. And they're taking me outside, and there's a helicopter.
Oh, my gosh.
Up in the air. And it's like, so obviously they're getting ready to bust this place anyway, because that helicopter got there pretty fast. And then I was taken away with my buddy. We got out there in time. And it caused kind of caused some problems a little bit. But the promoter's a great guy, so but that was a crazy story for sure.
Now that's a rock and roll story if I ever heard one.
Very good. We got to go.
That was awesome. I love that. That's one of the things I like asking artists every now and then. It's like, hey, you got a funny story, something that sticks to mind, because you never know what you're going to hear and what pops up. And of course, fans wouldn't know that until, they hear the inside story from you. And you go back and look at it like on the news or something, you'll find out, aha, you started it. Well, technically, you were just defending yourselves, and
it was our show, Dilly.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and get back into the music now, since we got a rock and roll story out of it. Let's get some more rock and roll music going. Now, again, next one we have is A Lady Named America. We've got Mystical, Blue Angel Nights, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Out of those, what would you like to play?
Let's play A Lady Named America.
All right, my favorite, because again, that's something I do like. That is a song that we are already playing on Rockers Edge Radio in rotation. So again, it's kind of like we get to go back and speak to some of the artists, you know, behind the music that we've already been listening to. And we've been getting some great feedback already, you know, from, you know, when we put new music out. And a lot of people do like, you know, to hear new music from different people that they're not normally used to hearing, you know, every single day typically. So and that's one of the reasons for the show, to put out new music, you know, for artists out there, to get that out there and get that more exposure, not just for you, but for us music fans too, because we really enjoy hearing stuff like this.
Oh, trust me, I'm a huge music fan as well. So yeah, let's spin it.
All right. Now, once again, this is going to be A Lady Named America from Kid Comet here on the Dylan News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio.
I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. Bracelets, they know why. To all the kids on the skids, for the people with something die. Peter Parker, Mary Jane, Superman, Lois Lane, Betty and Veronica. Yeah, baby, we love that stuff. Marilyn DiMaggio, Bobby and G.I. Joe could never hold a candle to you. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something that can't take away. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something that can't take away. Miguel Moon, Shanti Suchin, Bella, and Noah Jane. They put her down to the crowd, talk trash about her, got her to shame. Peter Parker, Mary Jane, Superman, Lois Lane, Betty and Veronica. Yeah, baby, we love that stuff. Marilyn DiMaggio, Bobby and G.I. Joe could never hold a candle to you. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something that can't take away. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something that can't take away. Hush, hush, don't cry, baby. Hush, hush, don't cry, baby. Hush, hush, don't cry, baby. Most beautiful girl in all of the world, America. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something they can't take away. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something they can't take away. I'm in love with a girl, lady named America. I'm in love with something they can't take away.
Yeah, all right. Woo! And the crowd goes wild. Yeah! Now, again, for everyone just tuning in, that was A Lady Named America by hard American rock band Kid Comet. And we happen to be speaking to frontman, singer, songwriter Casey Lee Michaels of Kid Comet. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening and checking this out. And thank you so much also, Casey, for talking with us today and getting us, letting us know more about you and, you know, your music and the process that you go through.
Oh,
Now,
It's absolutely a pleasure, and we appreciate you so much today, getting the music out more. You know.
Oh yeah, and definitely that's one of the things that I like about this job is that I get to hear new music, but it's not just that. I get to put new music out for others to be able to hear that and listen in and check out new artists or new music from artists they might not have heard of before. And I really like doing that. I mean, I love this job. It's work, make no mistake. People think, oh, it's all fun and games and because it's all hard rock music, and it is fun. It is hard rock music, but again, it took us a while just to coordinate, to get all the information together, and just to be able to pull this off. We've had a number of issues where we couldn't do it, according to plan.
Listen, it's an honor to be with you today, and here we are.
Yeah, I'm glad it all worked out. So that's fantastic. Now during shutdown, I mean, now you've been writing. You talked about writing the new music. So for those just tuning in, he's got new music coming out, but it's kind of like a full compilation of 12 new songs, new tracks written like during shutdown and stuff. But then you get a little bit of each of the songs from all the other previous EPs out. So you have like kind of like the history, as he said, and the new stuff.
Sure.
Like, how did you like the process for you? Was it a hard process during shutdown to be able to go out and do a new EP or a new album? Because again, being shut down, everybody's got different ways of working things out now, but you couldn't really get together with the other band members.
No, we were cutting in the Bronx in New York at a place called Red V Studios with a really talented guy named Vic, and then when it got shut down, we had songs to complete. Here in Indianapolis, I have a 25-year plus relationship with a guy named Ryan Atkins. And then I have a very good friend of mine that plays in Kid Comet here, John Zepps. So we just went in and took what got done and completed it, mixed it and mastered it up. So no, I mean, you're never going to stop us, no matter what. We're going to be doing something here, we're going to do something here, we're doing something here, and then we're just waiting to get out there and start playing again. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but no, I mean, and I usually ask because, some artists say that they had to shut down completely, like they couldn't, it was too hard to be able to work this way or that, and they had to, figure out a whole new plan to be able to work things out because, everyone's different and the schedules went crazy and, and not being able to get together.
Well, certainly it hurts the money bottom end, but I mean, they can't stop you from, creating. Can they? Or is that the next step? The next step is, they're going to stop people from being creative too. No.
Right.
I've always been a lucky guy to have some really good friends. And like I said, what we couldn't travel out there and complete, there's a great place here called Asthma Studios, and we finish it up at Asthma Studios. And we're getting ready. Like I said, probably another 3-4 week turnaround. It's going to take that long. And then the downloads will be out there, and then we'll also have hard copies as well, huh?
Very nice and very nice. And for me, I like the hard copies. I like those hard copies that he had. I'm old school. I like to have that.
Oh yeah,
right? Because you never know down the line, what it'll mean later on. Even not just a memory, but it's like something really cherished down the line too. Not just by you, but by other fans as well.
Listen, when I was a kid, that vinyl came out. It was fantastic because it was big enough, and you get in there and you look, and all the interesting things, well, who is this and who is that, and then those names start showing up every once in a while on other records, and they tend to be like your favorite records, like the Bob Ezrin records, etc. Producer Bob Ezrin, among others. But oh yeah, I love hard copies.
Oh yeah, and for me, that's one of my favorite things is collecting stuff like that. All the little odds and ends, and especially if you get them signed and and whatnot. It's just something extra for the fans. And I'm one of those people that like to collect them, and a lot of musicians do as well because they started off as fans as well, and you're still fans because you're still writing that you love, and and it really spreads to the rest of the generations. So, all right, let's go ahead and get back into another song then. So we heard Lady Game America, and we heard She's My Serpentine from Kid Comet. We got a few more to play. What would you like to play next? We have Mystical, and we have Blue Angel Nights, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Well, let's just go for the next one.
Okay, then the next one I have in line is Mystical.
Yep, that's great.
Yeah. All right, you're going to be hearing Mystical from Kid Comet here on Rockers Edge Radio.
Beautiful.
Nice. And once again, that was Mystical by all-American rock band Kid Comet here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. Now that was fantastic. Thank you so much once again, for tuning in, because we are speaking with frontman Casey Lee Michaels of Kid Comet. And, we got a funny rock and roll story out of him earlier today, a little earlier on. So you got to make sure to go back and tune into that interview and to hear that. It was really funny. And then now we got a couple more songs, and we've been talking about the new music he's got going out, coming up, and then some of the older music that he's already had out. So we've kind of been playing a little bit of both. And now tell us a little bit about the process for Mystical. It's a little bit more, there's a little bit more of a melodic tone to that than some of your other music, where the other ones are more hard rock.
Yeah, well, dynamics, so up and down, loud, quiet, that like that. But Mystical was something they just started off with an acoustic riff. And then Michael had put those kind of like tribal drums to it. And then we just took it to Red V with Vic. And and it's a different kind of song, but I like using different colors, different, different palettes, right? So yeah, it's an interesting song for sure. It's very powerful, very well recorded. I think we're always aiming to get better recordings, right?
Oh, no, I think it was, beautifully done. Again, I just, the difference. And again, I did notice that it's, like I said, it's got a little bit more of that melodic tone to it, opposed to some of the other ones that are just that rock in your face.
Yeah, like,
thing, so yeah.
Sure. It'd be like a middle of the set kind.
Yeah, like that little break, from the hard rock dancing. Now you can just kind of slowly groove to it and get into it. Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, we lost audio to him.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, now you're back. See, even technology doesn't always want to work with us. So, technical difficulties happen even during, stuff. Can't help that.
The world is based on computers anymore. What are we going to do when it all falls down, goes
right.
up, yeah.
Okay,
Beautiful.
now we got two more songs that we're going to be playing here. We got Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and we've got Blue Angel Nights. Now we're going to go ahead and play Kiss Kiss Bang Bang because that is one of the self-titled songs off of the self-titled EP that he had originally put out.
Well, what we did was, sorry to interrupt you, hon.
Go ahead, please tell me about it.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was recorded in like 1988, which was a very good year for us. So, but the Sonics weren't so great. So we re-recorded the song Kiss Kiss Bang Bang to get better sonics, etc. And this is just a live rock and roll band in the studio. There's just 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're off.
Nice. And once again, you're here listening to it here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. We're going to start that now, and that's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang by Kid Comet.
We'll be right back.
right. Now, once again, that was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang by Kid Comet. I love that. I love that song.
Thank you so much.
You
We
said
love it too.
this was written back in the 80s. This is one of your first songs written back in the 80s. So we're playing one of the older songs. But you know what? There are sites right now that are dedicated to 80s and 90s rock music, you know,
Sure.
just to listen to all that stuff.
It
It's
was
classic. It's like that classic that'll never stop rocking.
It's some of the best music that's still out there, you know. You don't get that kind of music these days so much.
No, and I'm really glad that you re-recorded that and put that back out there because again, you know, I'm an 80s, 90s rock girl. I grew up in that rock and it's like, oh, I love it. I just love it, you know. So, and I know so many listeners out there are going to love it just as much because we know our listeners and we know our listeners like the hard music, you know. So that's fantastic, and I'm happy to be able to put that out there for everyone. Once again, if you're just tuning in to the Daily News Rock Show, we are speaking with Casey Lee Michaels, front singer songman from Kid Comet, and Kid Comet's been around for a while. He's got a good amount of music out. They've got new music coming out soon, maybe possibly by Halloween. And with this new music, they're going to have a little bit of some of their old music from before on it as well. So you get, like you said, a little bit of the new and a little bit of the history of Kid Comet, because they have some talk out there. If you've been listening, you know what we're talking about.
Yes, ma'am. Very much so.
Now we have another song. We're going to play one more song before we close out. But before we do, I'd like to ask, because I do like to generally ask all the artists out there, especially artists that have seen success, you know, and you've made the rounds, you've ran the circuit. Again, you've been featured in so many different magazines. You've played all the hot spots, you know, open for like Metallica, Wasp, Quiet Riot. So, like, you know, for an artist, I always ask, what would you give, like, the advice? What kind of advice would you give to someone who's just starting out and wants to be able to do all this, you know? And it can be very discouraging because it's very hard to put your art out there and do all this. But so what would you tell someone?
Well, practice, own it, and then never give up. Just notice what you want to be, and this is who you are. And just own it and be it. You know, it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like what you do. It's you've got to love what you do. And we definitely love what we do. So that would be advice to anyone, really. So
and that's really good advice. And needing to love what you do is an important thing, you know, because then that's what helps you not give up and not quit and keep you going when an obstacle gets in your way. Instead of quitting, you know what, you just find a ladder and climb over it and go a different way. That's all. You just take a different route, you know. So that's really good advice. Is there anybody also maybe perhaps you'd like to give a shout out to, you know, people that you've worked with, anybody that stands out in particular, or somebody that's always been there from the day one, you know, anybody you want to say hello to and give a little shout out to as well?
Well, sure. I mean, you know, John Zapps, like from the time that we were little kids, cutting our teeth on Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, he's in the band. And certainly Ryan Atkins at Azimuth Recordings for helping us complete this next round of things and getting it out there. You know, those are our two main guys here in Indianapolis. So without a doubt.
Very nice, very nice. And I always ask people if they want to give that shout out because there's people in the background that don't get that credit, you know, that really have, you know, helped a lot of the people on stage. There's people behind the stage as well, you know, trying to help them be out there as well. So, you know, I always, you know, ask that so you can give a little shout out to, you know, somebody who's really gone.
There's so many people in the equation, but where we are right now, those would be the guys that got it across the finish line and were able to get this out to the public.
Nice. Very, very nice. Nice. And now we got one more song, but also tell fans out there where they can find you, where they can follow you. What are your social media sites that they can follow you on? Oh, yeah.
It's my honor. It'd be my pleasure. So kidcomet.com. That's KIDDCOMET.com. Then there's Facebook.com/KidCometRocks. And then our email is KIDDCOMET3068 @gmail.com.
Nice. And you heard him here, and now you know where you can follow him. Some of the music is already playing on Rockers Edge Radio, but we'll also be playing more of the music. And when you get that other new music out in Halloween, make sure to check it out, download it. You can also send it to us, and we'll play it, for our listeners who've tuned in to the interview to find out a little bit more about the musicians behind the music that you've been listening to. So you know a little bit more about the artists and where they come from and where the music that you're listening and connecting to also come from. Because I do believe that a lot of the music, when fans really get into that music and they find that connection and they find that particular thing in your songs or in what either with just one song or just everything that you do, then it really helps connect you with that fan, because then you kind of feel like they understand what you're saying to them and they can relate because they might have gone through some type of a similar situation, and it really, I think, helps connect, the fan and the artist as well to know a little bit more background. And sometimes even knowing some of the history of songs can change the meaning of songs,
Sure.
So okay, so for the next song, we're going to be playing the last song, Blue Angel Nights. Tell us a little bit about that song. What was that about when you wrote that?
Sure. Well, first of all, Blue Angel Nights was a paperback when I was a little kid. My grandmother, Norma Wheeler, was an avid reader, and it was just a title on a paperback. And then it's kind of like a fun spring summer song about a boy and a girl getting together and having a good time.
I like that though. We need that nowadays, especially in this pandemic. We definitely need that.
Now more than ever.
Exactly. Okay, well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that you came on here. Don't tune off. We're going to listen to one more song and then we'll say our goodbyes, to everybody. So I got one more song for all you listeners out there from Kid Comet. Again, when you follow him, make sure that's KIDD, two D's on there, so that you make sure to follow the right site. And this last song that we have here is Blue Angel Nights.
How you wear the things so tight as we dance into the night without it all. I sometimes wonder what it be like me and you, tied in tangled solitude. I can feel temptation on the trouble. out on the road. You and me, baby, spare be so much.
Yeah, all right. Woo! And the crowd goes wild. Yeah, woo! Once again, that was Blue Angel Nights by Kid Comet. And we have been speaking with frontman, singer, songwriter Casey Lee Michael, Kid Comet, to find out a little bit more about the music that we've been playing for you on Rockers Edge Radio, because we have been playing some of the music and we will be playing more, of course, as we get more in. We will definitely play that for you. And yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for,
oh, please, thank you so much, Dilly. You're fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate all that. Now, before we leave, we're going to go ahead and leave in just a moment, but is there anything you want to say to the listeners out there?
We've got new product. With that new product comes things from the LA 88 LA EP is all on there. 3 songs from Radio Free America, 3 songs from Pop Rock Glam Slam, New Hope for the Downtrodden, and then fresh new material as well. So it's going to be out in digipack and download form. And we really encourage you to go out, and if you like it, tell a friend.
Exactly. And when they start having shows, make sure to follow their site so that you know where to go out and catch them live, because they're eager to play for you.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Everybody have a blessed day.
All right. Thanks for rocking out with us here on Dilly News Rock Show, again with Kid Comet. Have a great day, everyone.